This meeting to order. I'm going to have, as a start, the approval of the agenda. Are there any later on table items?
Yes, there is, Mayor Adler. What we have before you is the supplementary agenda items, which is your purple sheet that you should have, and that is a staff report, item number 7.1, which is a report from our Chief Financial Officer regarding the 2012 budget and core services review. Also added to that agenda is the fire department's monthly call-out statistics for your information for the month of October. In addition, we have an on-table item, which is an email from Mr. Bowen Smith indicating his interest in sitting on the Ferry Advisory Committee. We are adding that, if council so desires, as correspondence item number 8.2. In addition, item number 5.2, which is the appointment of the Metro Vancouver Municipal Director, has been moved to a closed meeting following the regular open meeting. And during that item number, I will ask council to approve a resolution to move into a closed meeting upon conclusion of the open meeting. Therefore, I would like to ask council if they could approve the agenda for this evening's meeting, including new business item number 5.2, which is moving the Metro Vancouver appointment to a closed meeting. Staff reports item number 7.1, which is report from the Chief Financial Officer. And correspondence item number 8.2, which is the email from Erwin Smith.
I move that the agenda be approved as read by the corporate officer. Do I have a seconder?
Second.
Andrew? Are there any additional items that any council member wants to add to the agenda? No. All those in favor of the agenda, please raise your hands. All those opposed, motion carries.
Mayor Adler, we have 4 members of the public who have indicated a desire to speak in the public comment section.
Just as we get into public comments, just because it's a brand new setting for you all, I wanted to remind you that public comments is an opportunity for members of the public to comment regarding items on the agenda or any other comments or issues they may wish to bring to council's attention. And council cannot respond to direct queries from the public in this circumstance, and any questions raised will be dealt with by council and or staff at a future date. So, setting for public comment.
Okay, first member of the public we have is Bruce Howlett.
Mayor and Council, I would like to speak to item 6.1 on the agenda, bylaws. I have not much to say. My points are essentially 2. Number 1, the steep slopes bylaw is, in my view, improperly drafted and wrong in its intent. The issue to be dealt with is hazard from unstable slopes, not steep slopes. The map of steep slopes shows many steep slope sites are already developed, so it is not a constraint nor a hazard. Else the building inspector would not have approved their development. Now, unstable slopes made up of soils that may be subject to slippage are a hazard. Thus, the soil scientist should have been prepared this map. Indeed, on rocky Bowen Island, there are likely very few areas that could be designated as hazardous. Item 2. The map of environmentally sensitive areas includes mature forests, which cover a large portion of the island, including many home sites. They are so widespread on the island and in the province as a whole as to make their designation improper. Sensitivity should be limited to rare and exceptional examples of the natural environment, not whole swaths of land. That's all I have to offer.
Next on the list, we have Michael Corneliuson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Councillors. I shall be brief. There has been chatter concerning the agenda item 6.1, rescinding the steep slopes of ESA bylaws. Last July, it became apparent that the Council had determined to steamroll these bylaws through without proper public consultation. I was part of the group that was forced to distribute this red alert flyer at great personal expense and effort, I might add, to publicise the multiple flaws in these unreasonable and intrusive regulations. I was also part of the till then great silent majority to express our outrage at the BICS meeting, where we overwhelmingly called upon Council to rescind these bylaws. And the bylaw fiasco is one of the many reasons that not one of those people were re-elected. So, Mr. Mayor and Councillor, I just want to assure you that this agenda item does have the solid support of the great silent majority that elected you, your councillors. I have 2 points, one of which has already been very well explained by Mr. Howard, and that is that should these bylaws be revisited in the future, I suggest that the first one be called hazardous slopes, because most of Bowen Island is a perfectly stable steep slope. Secondly, that a very clear distinction be drawn between a 30-degree slope, which is steep, and a 30% slope, which equals only 16.5 degrees, which some people try to sneak in as the defining measure. Thank you.
We have Bylaws.
Mr. Mayor, Councilors, like these two previous speakers, I'd like to address item 6.1. I fully support the total withdrawal of the steep slopes and ESA bylaws. These bylaws intrude enormously on citizens' use and enjoyment of their property, and the need for this intrusion has never been demonstrated. Accordingly, these bylaws are far too problematic to be used as a starting point for the preparation of any new bylaws. Indeed, they would automatically corrupt any such effort. I don't deny that restrictions on the use of private property are sometimes necessary, but they should meet the following criteria. 1, there have been frequent events with truly severe consequences. 2, there is good reason to believe that the proposed restrictions will in fact be effective in reducing the frequency and/or the severity of such events. And 3, the actual level of effectiveness of the restrictions will in fact be sufficiently high to at least compensate for their negative impacts, including in particular intrusions into the use and enjoyment of private property. Any new restriction should meet these criteria. For that matter, those contained in the recently passed WASP bylaw should do so as well. Thank you.
Fitch Katie.
Good evening. I'm here to speak about tonight's closed meeting in which you'll be selecting a director and an alternate for Metro Vancouver, and to express my hopes that in particular there of the two jobs, my understanding is both the director and the alternate can sit on various Metro committees. And my particular concern is the Parks Committee, and that going forward that there be sufficient lobbying effort to make sure that one of these two representatives is on the Parks Committee, and that person be robust in their negotiations and ability to reflect the importance of the park to Bowen Island. It's our main interface with, one of our main interfaces with Metro Vancouver. From the cabins and restoration of the cabins issues to possible swapping of municipal surplus lands and municipal community lands with parts of the park to better position municipal lands for low-cost housing and those kind of things, which is the kind of thing that Peter Frinton, I know, was paying attention to when he was a representative to Metro. And so I hope that the person who ends up being that parks person in particular be a robust negotiator. Thank you.
Mayor Adler, that's the end of the public comment phase.
That was fairly gentle. We'll have to new business.
Yes, correct. Next up, we have myself, appointments of acting mayors. This is a prerequisite of the community charter, which we go through in December of each year. And the appointments are for a 2-month period and have been put in alphabetical order. The resolution recommendation reads as follows: whereas the community charter and the Bowen Island Municipalities Procedure Bylaw requires that acting mayors be appointed on a rotating basis in December of each year, therefore be it resolved that council appoint the following acting mayors for 2011-2012. Councillor Andrew Stone, December 2011. Councillor Wolfgang Duntz, January and February 2012. Councillor Darren Jennings, March and April 2012. Councillor Lucas, May and June 2012. Councillor Morris, July and August 2012. Councillor Rhodes, September, October 2012. And Councillor Stone, November and December 2012.
Is there any,
I will make that motion.
is there any further discussion? Call the question. All those in favor?